Good. How you doing, Yahoo? I see you with the first. Yahoo with the first. Shiro with the second. Smoke with the third. Welcome in. Here we are streaming Tekken 8 for like the first time, and who even knows how long? Who knows how long it's been since I've streamed Tekken 8? I think my last Tekken 8 stream was in September. Now, that's not to say I haven't played Tekken 8. I've definitely played it. But yeah, I should be VIP. I think you are, aren't you? You have two accounts, don't you? You have two accounts, I think, as well. I think your other account is the VIP one. I haven't removed any VIPs. Wait, you have, how do you spell your name? You have an account with 3 A's. That's the one that's VIP. You're not in that one anymore? Which one is the, I mean, this is the longer one, I'm guessing. Why did you have two accounts in the first place? That's the real question. Sure, I'll grant you your purple diamond. Oh my gosh. 7TV, please stop. There you go. I'll un-VIP your fraud account, your other one. Your other one doesn't even have a profile picture. That's crazy. You haven't been serious in Tekken since you entered the TCG scene? Interesting. I feel like being in TCGs, this TCG scene is probably better for your sanity in the long run. You didn't know this login and then you figured it out? Ah, okay. How's everybody else in chat doing? How are you, Mr. Smoke? I know I see Shiro is TCGing it up. Yahoo's figuring logins out. You know, Yahoo, you might find this interesting. I attempted to play Call of Duty when Blackout 2.0 came out, and the game kept crashing. So I think I tried to play 20 matches, and of the 20, I only actually got into 3 matches. And in the time since then, that situation has not improved. So, yeah, it's GG's for COD. It's the man, the myth, the legend. I feel like I haven't caught a streaming forever. Well, to be fair, Crispy, I have not been streaming that much. I think my last stream was 3 weeks ago. So we've been, ever since Tekken sort of fell out of my love rotation, the stream just kind of went along with it. And I've been doing some music streams here and there, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the music streams are pretty short. So unless you're around for like the hour or two that I do them, that's you kind of miss them. You lost a bet. Now you have to play Arc Raiders. Have to play Arc Raiders? What was the bet? I don't know that I'd say, I wouldn't look at playing Arc Raiders as a have to thing if I were in a situation where I made a bet and the loss outcome was that I had to play out. Low-key, that's like a win-win. That's like you win. If you win the bet, you win. And if you lose the bet, you win. How you been though, Crispy? You been playing COD still? I was telling Yahoo, I was trying to play Black Ops Royale, aka Blackout 2.0, and the game kept crashing. I was really excited for it. I played 3 matches of the 20 I tried to get into, and I actually had a lot of fun playing those 3 matches, but Call of Duty, yet again, despite making a game I think might be fun for me, COD doesn't want me to play their game. Because that shit crashes like a motherfucker. So I don't know what to say. I hate COD and they don't want me to play it, and then I look at it some kind of way, like, oh, that might be fun, and then they still don't want me to play it. It's like they hate me or something. I will play with you. It will make it fun. It was already fun. I was having fun with it. I was having fun. Again, I played 3 matches. The problem is the game crashes over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So even though I want to enjoy it, I literally can't. I even tried installing through Steam instead of Battle.net, and that also didn't work. Made it to Crimson and Ranked, and now I'm bored of the game. I feel that. What is bro reading? What do you mean, what is bro reading? Somebody reading something? Less Tekken, more Hololive OCG. Hololive OCG, interesting. I don't think I've heard of that. Haven't played a COD game since Infinite Warfare. It's just not the game I love. Haven't played a COD game since Infinite Warfare. It's just not a game I love anymore. Yeah, that's understandable. You know, I'm sort of, I guess, lucky because my history with COD was that I got into it pretty late. I got into it with Warzone. And then I got to watch them slowly murder Warzone over the years that came after. And now apparently they can't release a game that works, which is unfortunate. even when I want to like their game, their shit doesn't work. Which, like, honestly, for a company of their size, is pretty embarrassing. Granted, I mean, I know that my issues are maybe rare because obviously lots of people are playing it and they're not crashing over and over again. But for whatever reason, I crash over and over. I've got update drivers. I tried all kinds of things to no success. Mr. Smoke never told us what his bet was. Oh, about Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is great. I love Arc Raiders. Now I've got a couple games in rotation. Started playing Siege, Marathon, and Halo Infinite. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's been interesting. This hiatus from Tekken has had me thinking that maybe, I don't know. It's had me looking at genres of games I enjoy, and I think like just in general, I don't really fuck with shooter slop anymore. Not to say that Rainbow Siege, like not to say that Siege or Marathon or Halo Infinite are shooter slop, but just the entire idea of a shooting game at the moment is just like it's like it doesn't harden the PP. ARPGs though, I'm on quite the ARPG kick. I feel like with PoE 2 being my first love, and then I played the Dark Haven demo recently, and I had a lot of fun playing that. And of course, I still love fighting games as a genre. It's just I don't know, something about the suite of games out there right now just not really hooking me. I'm hoping, chat. I'm hoping that Tekken. There are some good things in this update. I have my list. I think I said the other day what my list of things I want to see from this update are that will make me think it's a good update, and how I completely doubt that I will see those things. But let's give it a read. I've been playing any fighting game I can get my hands on, and Pokemon fan games for like the better part of a month now. Oh, nice. Yeah, I definitely feel like going across the gamut of them can be fun. Something is missing. I feel like I can play a fighting game for a little bit, especially with people. I think that's like, you can always play a fighting game with people who are playing it. But in terms of like hooking me, I feel like no game is, I mean, honestly, Tekken 8 was that before it got shitty. And then like you have Smash, of course, which hooked me historically, but it's other games I played like 2XKO and even Fatal Fury. They're not hooking me. You told Duck an Anvil Blueprint could push Arc Raiders up in the gaming line, and he went and found one. Damn, you know what? That's dedication. That is dedication. The homie wants you on the game so much that he grinded to get an Anvil Blueprint just to give to you. So, up, y'all. Are we back? I don't know yet. We haven't started reading yet. I'm just kind of yapping with chat before we begin our deep dive into figuring out, is this a game that seems interesting to play again, or is it still going to be kind of meh? Nothing will scratch that itch like a Doria can. That's true. There's something about hitting the Doria. And I was playing offline, actually, or not offline. I was playing with a homie in like a Discord lobby, and some Tekken. And I haven't been playing as much June, because I don't know. I just haven't been. So I was playing some Kazuya, and I forget what he did, but I punished it with I think it wasn't 13. It was like a 14 frame electric. But I was like, damn, I didn't know I could do that. I got lucky. To be fair, I got lucky. I'm not so good that I can intentionally punish -14 with an electric. They kept doing it, and I was like, I know that's -14. I'm just gonna try it. Let me try an electric punish, and I actually hit it one. And it is hard to get that kind of dope. It's equivalent to like PoE 2 hacks meeting up PoE. It's like the equivalent of a divine dropping is when you punish something with an electric. It's like getting a tink in PoE. You see that 3D Fighter fan game that was all over Tekken Twitter the other day? I think it's called Rush. I did see that. I haven't played it though. So, but when you do, you coom. Yes, exactly. I'm just waiting for Peak of Exile to return. I mean, listen, when 0.5 comes, we will be checking it out. Unlike Bamco, I'm convinced GGG can cook. Honestly, my experience with Bandai Namco has me looking and feeling some kind of way about all kinds of Japanese fighting game developers, and I kind of wish there were more outside of Japan. Not that there's anything wrong with the games that Japanese fighting game developers make. They made some obviously great fighting games and continue to make obviously great fighting games. But I don't think we are going to see innovative evolutions of fighting games out of Japanese game developers. I think right now the world is in a place where Japanese businesses are going to focus on what makes them money, which is going to be kind of pulling like, they're essentially like a AAA studio where they're doing the same thing that like Activision Blizzard does. Where they're just repurposing the same shit over and over again to sell more units and make money. It doesn't feel like there's heart and soul going into the fighting games coming out of the big Japanese companies. Just like there's not heart and soul going into the games coming out of big American gaming companies. I am excited though about Combo Devils. I would say, like, in terms of my fighting games, I'm super excited to play one, and like does feel like it from watching it feels like it could hook me. I'm really excited about Combo Devils, and that is made by a team who's putting some love into it. So you hate playing my June, so happy to hear that you've been playing other characters when you do play. I mean, my June is I can be annoying with June, but I can also be annoying with Yoshi. You can't really be annoying with Kazuya because he doesn't have like an annoying toolkit, unless the person that's fighting the Kazuya sucks, in which case then they could be annoyed. But the fact that Pokemon can keep getting away with their BS, I would say that Pokemon kind of lives under like the umbrella of Nintendo shit. And you know, I have nothing against Nintendo games or the IPs that they create that people know and love, but everything to do with all of Nintendo's games and all of Nintendo's ecosystems and universes is all the same shit since like the 80s, right? Like you've got Mario, you've got fucking Zelda, you've got, you know, whatever, all the core Nintendo IPs. And I would say Pokemon is, even though Pokemon is like not Nintendo, you know, it's broader than Nintendo. I think they kind of fit into that same formula of Nintendo shit, which is probably why in my head I'm like, well, Pokemon is Nintendo. And of course, my own experience with Pokemon games is always on a Nintendo system, whether that's a Game Boy or a GameCube or I think the last Pokemon game I played was on a GameCube, so, or Game Boy, some Game Boy iteration. I didn't really get into like Pokemon Go, and I'm not like I was never a huge Pokemon fan growing up. I was one of the weirdos that liked Digimon instead. But you know, we didn't end up with Digimon or Pokemon level games from the Digimon universe. But all right, chat, shall we dive in? Shall we? Digimon was better. I agree from a story. Granted, I mean, I had like the huge rose tinted glasses of it was my childhood cartoon that I loved. I love Digimon so much that I like. I remember there's a point in my life when I like had every Digimon memorized and like all of their like stats and properties and all of their like pathways for Digivolving. And you know those little toys that got made, like the Digimon toys. Like I had like I think every single generation of Digivice like toy that got released. Those were the good days, man. Those were the good days. Take care of your Digimon. Yeah, it was kind of like Tamagotchi, right? It's like that was sort of the archetype, I think, of the style of it. But yeah, I was a big Digimon fan, and it was interesting to me because like Pokemon wasn't as interesting. Like I don't know, it just didn't feel as interesting, I guess, than like Digimon as a story and even like the way that the universe was kind of put together. But I still like Pokemon, just to be clear. I also had a lot of fun with Pokemon. It just I liked Digimon like maybe 8 times more than I like Pokemon. All right, let's look at these patch notes. Let's begin the court session. And you know, I'm just realizing as I say that I should have like the Law and Order gavel sound as a soundboard sound, which I don't have. But the Digivices were low key the OG Pokemon Go. Yes, exactly, because you could like battle. You could like link them together and you could battle other people. Granted, you could do that like on the Game Boys with Pokemon as well, but it was just kind of cooler to have like. It's cool that they took that representation of like what a Digivice was in the universe of Digimon, and they made toys out of it that like let you kind of replicate that. I don't like Pokemon couldn't have done that. Maybe they could have actually if Pokemon had created like a similar device to like a Digivice and it was like a Pokeball, you probably could have done something similar. But you know, they obviously went the route of like massively successful games for like the GameCube, whereas like we didn't really have. I don't know that there ever was like a Digimon Game Boy game. And maybe that was like, you know, Nintendo being like, nah, we're all in on Pokemon, so we can't have this. We can't have these alternative types of Pokemon potentially stealing the kids away when Pokemon is our bread and butter. So, all right, let's convene our court session. Let's see. Let's check it out. Maybe not on Nintendo, but MMO Digimon? Really? I did not know that was a thing. I don't think I've ever played like a Digimon. I don't think I've ever played a Digimon game. All right, so this is just standard stuff for the update. Replays are going to go away, of course, or the old replays will be deleted, whatever. Tekken Fight Pass, of course, there's adding Fight Pass stuff. Leo costume, ew. Brian costume, also ew. Tekken Special Deal, you can buy stuff for... that reminds me, I need to start the update. You can buy stuff for cheaper, I'm guessing. I'm guessing there's a discount in the Tekken shop. If you want to spend money on cosmetics in Namco's game, you can go ahead and do that. Why is there an update for PoE 2? Why isn't there an update for Tekken 8? What? All right. Ranked match. Rank is being reset. I think this is cool. I kind of like seasonal rank resets. I think they should do that every season. I think it adds some freshness to the game to have like a full ladder reset. I don't think it is a full reset actually. You're not everyone's not going down to like the lowest rank, of course, which is probably fine. But yeah, I'm a fan of rank resets. Rank point gain loss adjustments. Rank point thresholds required for promotion and demotion will be adjusted. The amount of rank points gained or lost per match will be adjusted accordingly. Promotion bonuses will now always be granted upon promotion. So they brought that back. Interesting. It was a lot easier to rank up when they had this, and I guess they're getting rid of it now, or they got rid of it. And then I guess they're bringing it back, which I don't know how I feel. I mean, I don't really care that much, but I feel like that's going to make ranking up a lot easier. Because the main reason you might get hard stuck, like me being hard stuck Tekken Emperor for so long before I got Tekken God, was that I'd get to Tekken God, and then or even like get to like mid Tekken Emperor, and then like as soon as you get that promotion after you promote, like let's say you demote, and then you get the promotion again, you're like right on the line, and basically your next loss is going to demote you again. So I guess this is basically promotion. This promotion bonus, you could look at it as like now you always have a buffer after you promote before you're demoted immediately again, which I think just kind of in general like leads to all of the ranks being somewhat higher. Promotion bonuses will now apply up to the rank of the rank below God of Destruction. Okay, so they still won't be in GOD, which I think is good. Rank point bonuses guaranteed during win streaks will be adjusted. Okay, so that probably means I wonder if they're going to adjust that up or down. They don't really get specific. That Elisa illustration was a W. I mean, yeah, I will say for all of my comments I might have about Tekken itself and Namco, I mean the fan art that gets made for this game is amazing. I mean, I get it. I love Tekken as a franchise. A revenge bonus will now grant additional rank points when winning a rematch after losing a match. I kind of fuck with that. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is maybe gonna be a little aggressive in like a first to because like if you win the first match and then you win the first match and then they win the second match, they get more. Should you get more points in the third? I think this would actually make sense if they tracked it across sets. And this is something I was thinking about a lot. I watched some Max Dude video and he was talking about like things he likes in fighting games and or what helped make fighting games so important for him. And he kind of mentioned like arcade culture and the idea of like you knew the people you were fighting and how when you're playing ranked you don't really know that. And I think that's not, it's true, but it's also not true. Like you do run into the same people over and over. But the game doesn't give you any indication of that. And I think like cool things they could do would be like, for instance, tracking your overall set count versus a specific player and then like showing that every time you go up against them and like just creating more social and like connected features around that. Where, you know, the idea of a rival, yeah, you can mark someone as your rival and they'll show up on the little rank timeline. But like, I think they could go further into that to like make it more of a social game without ruining like the social core premise of how it works. People leave before you get to download. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you didn't know you were 9. Yeah, exactly. Knowing you're 9-1 against somebody, and then so here's where it gets like interesting, right? Like this idea of additional rank points when you win a rematch. I would rather them say, okay, you go, you accept your match. You know, the thing pops up. It's 5-bar Wi-Fi. You're like, cool. I hit yes. The next thing it should show you is like, okay, now it's this person you fought. Oh, you're 9-1 against this person, and then like it could even throw in like if this person beats you, they're gonna get like 3 times the points, and that could be a motivation for them too. Like I could get 3 times the point if I beat you. That could potentially create this like interesting gameplay loop where the guy who's losing you 9-1, he's gonna hit he might be inspired to go hit the lab to learn how to fight against Kazuya and maybe look at the replays to try and identify some patterns that you have that he can exploit if he is maybe okay at fighting Kazuya. Right now, there's not really an incentive other than I want to rank up, I want to get better, to go like hit the lab and to hit replays. Which, to be fair, that is a huge motivating factor in fighting games, wanting to get better and wanting to rank up, etc. But they could like add some extra sauce to that and like extra incentive layers. I think if they were to do something like that, where it's like, okay, instead of this just being like is this really going to be like, okay, you get I wonder what they mean by match. Like, do they mean game or do they mean set? But in any case, it'd be cool if they like track the set count across players and you could see like, okay, I fought this person 20 times and we're 50-50. That adds additional tension to like our match a little bit, And they could create like, again, weird quirky shit and systems in the game to like make that more, hit the nervous system a little bit more with that. As opposed to I'm just queuing ranked and I'm just re-queuing ranked and I'm just hitting rematch and I'm running into a bunch of faceless assholes, as Max put it. So... All right, demotion conditions. Players will not be demoted unless they lose 2 consecutive matches, even if their rank points fall below the demotion threshold. Okay, so by matches, they do mean games. This is a crazy change. So basically, the only way to get demoted is to lose twice in a row. Does this mean that you could one and done and avoid permanently avoid demotion if you just always one and done? We're gonna have to really. It really is going to depend on do they mean sets? You would not demote unless you lose 2 consecutive sets, but that would mean that you can't demote in one set, right? If you hit the lower threshold, like let's say you win the first game, then you couldn't. Well, if it was on the set level, you couldn't lose just by losing the next 2 games, but they must mean games. In any case, having to lose twice consecutively is an interesting idea to demote. I guess what I'm saying is I hope it's not gameable. I hope you couldn't just one and done people. Although if you're doing that, you probably suck and you'll probably lose anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter. Sub character rank adjustments. More rank inflation incoming. Yeah, I mean, it's not like the rank doesn't matter, and I don't necessarily know that the game is good enough for them to introduce a system that matters, like an actual elo system. That'd be cool, obviously, but I don't know that it matters too much. Matchmaking will now be based on the rank of the character currently being used. Okay, so no more prowess matchmaking. When matchmaking with characters ranked God of Destruction or higher, rank differences within +1 or minus will be treated as the same rank to expand the matchmaking range. Oh, interesting. Okay. So basically, they're just saying that if you're in GOD, +or-1 is actually +or-2. They could just say it that way, right? I mean, I guess it is the same way of saying it. It's the same thing. Example, they're giving us an example. If matchmaking is performed God of Destruction 1, under the same rank restriction, matchmaking will include God of Destruction 1, and God of Destruction 2. Got it. The default cursor position in the matchmaking search filter will be changed from rate restriction to confirm. Okay. Default rank restriction setting changed. The default rank restriction will be to +or-2. See, this is interesting. It's just we're just going to expand the search range to try and improve matchmaking, as opposed to just, having a game that people want to play so there are enough people in queue for matchmaking to be good. But obviously that's a lot harder. You can't design that into the game necessarily. Detailed information regarding rank point increases or decreases will be displayed on the result screen. What does that mean? What kind of detailed information? I'm kind of curious about that. I wish they would show a screenshot. That'd be cool. I wish we had a Tekken Talk Live, where we could have seen these things. But I guess we'll see it in game, right? Oh, that's right. I was looking to see if I could update. No update yet, so let's close Steam and then we'll reopen it in a few minutes and see if there's an update. Quick matchmaking changes, the default cursor position, okay, same stuff. All online matches, the time required before menus become operable on the result screen after online matches will be reduced. That's cool. I think it's 10 seconds right now. 10 seconds isn't that long, but it doesn't need to be long. I think you should just be able to pick a menu option whenever. They haven't got in front of the camera not really since season 2, right? Basically, that was the last time. They did the pre-recorded thing that Michael Murray and Yasuda Esports did for Falcon, but they haven't actually done a Tekken Talk Live. Maybe now that Harada's gone, they're just yeah, we're not doing that. Maybe that was a Harada thing. Players will to restart practice while switching character positions using... Oh, that's cool. So you'll be able to switch to P2 and P1 without having to go to a menu. Opening and closing speed of the practice menu will be improved. Is it slow? I mean, that's cool. I guess it's cool. Hopefully, this is an indication that they're looking at optimization game-wide, because I do feel like every update of Tekken 8 has gotten less optimized. There was an update, I think it was the Armor King patch, and I felt like it was night and day difference between before I installed the Armor King patch and after. The game felt a lot worse and muddier. 10 additional slots will be added to shared customize, so 30 slots will be available. That's good news for all of us customizers out there who are filling up the slots with customizations. We'll now have 10 more. A swap option will be added to slot operations. What the fuck does this mean? I don't know what that means. Multiple customizations can now be saved to slots. Save player, I don't care. The health gauge of each player's player customized settings will be displayed. Interesting. Okay, that's just cosmetic stuff. Leaderboards. Season 3 online ranking data will be collected and made available for viewing? On a website? What does that mean? So they're basically saying, hey, WavuWink and EWGF.gg and all the sites that show you your stats, yeah, we're making our own. Who wants to bet on whether or not Namco's will be good compared to the other folks, the other third-party sites that are out there? I hope they do this well. I mean, they could definitely do this well if they do it well, but we'll see. Sound settings options will be added to the practice menu and the online Ghost Battle waiting menu. Okay, that's cool. Character select background music will be changed. The background music can be, oh, there's new character select. New character select. Nice. Character move behavior fixes and balance adjustments. Okay, baby. Here's the meat and potatoes. Let's switch up the musical vibe because I feel like whatever this is not the way. We'll do like what do we want to listen to? We'll put on like some classical music for this. I feel like that's the way. Unfortunately for L's theme, ooh, Mr. Smoke with the W suggestion. I agree. L's theme, 10 hours. Where is it? Give it to me. All right, Chad. Let's take a look at these the character stuff, the stuff we're here for. The balance. Based on Tekken 8's core gameplay philosophy and the refined balance policy, their following balance adjustments have been made. Adjustments that respect each character's concept, strengths, and weaknesses, while preserving excessive performance gaps between characters. Preventing. I thought that said preserving. I was going to say, what? In version 3.0, the strengths and weaknesses and distinct advantages of every character were reviewed. Adjustments were made with the goal of creating a battle experience in which each character's individuality can be felt more clearly within neutral interactions and mind games. I hope that the detailed notes actually give an idea of what they mean for the concept of each character, because I want to know from their thought process what they think of our character archetypes, and what changes we might see for characters based on whether or not they feel the current iteration in season 2 of the character was close to that archetype. I just think it's interesting stuff to hear about, like, what are they thinking when they design these characters? Because I don't feel like we've gotten much of that aside from, like, Harada's revelations here and there. Reevaluation of risk and reward across game systems and character unique mechanics. This is probably what I care about the most about, honestly. I mean, I care about individual character stuff, but I care more about system mechanics if I'm being real. During Season 2 updates, gradual revisions were made to address excessive frame advantage situations and disproportionately high reward. This direction has been continued in version 3.0, with adjustments focused particularly on the heat system and character-specific power at states, such as Claudio Starburst. RIP Claudio, much deserved. I hope this means that I hope they look back at the Season 2 patch notes and they looked at what they did to Claudio and they're like, what the fuck were we thinking? Hopefully they had like that moment, and hopefully Claudio, I don't want him to be bad per se, but he needs to be not egregious. I feel like no character should be egregious. Revision of the relationship between unique powered up states and his system. It was changed that when heat ends, character specific powered up states are also removed at the same time. I'd almost just prefer they not have character specific powered up states, but we've lost that battle. We know that we're not going to win that battle in this war. As a result, situations in which powered up states could be maintained for an extended duration by using heat as the starting point have been reduced. Revisions of wall splat properties caused by heat smash. For characters whose heat smash previously triggered a wall splat, the behavior was unified so that wall splat is no longer triggered by heat smash. As a result, situations in which heat smash would lead to excessive advantageous post-wall scenarios have been reduced. This is ultimately a really good thing. I'm very glad about this. I hope they've also toned down the frame advantage on heat smashes. Heat smash, I feel like, in terms of damage and your ability to just kind of whip your dick out with it, it's pretty strong. So it also wall splatting and also being like, I think +9 in like Brian's case, like, does it need to be +9? Can't it just be safe? I feel like a move like a heat smash, for everything it does for you, it should just be safe, maybe. Like June's is -6. Maybe that's what it should be, as opposed to plus, I think it's Leo, it's like +11. How fitting that Leo's character thing was there. It's like, what, +11 is just an insane amount of frame advantage on a move that you can just kind of push one button and it comes out super fast and does a ton of damage. But getting rid of the powered up state, getting rid of like the Leo power up or Claudio's power up or whatever. I guess it's a good start. It's definitely a good start. Improvements to air combos and version 3. This is interesting because I'm curious about this. The issue where air combos became excessively long when a heat engager was landed as a grounded hit and then followed by a heat dash was addressed. They say was. The previous system where the opponent's airborne distance was reduced under these conditions was removed, and the behavior was adjusted to match that of standard air combos. Additionally, interesting. So basically they're saying that after you landed a heat engager, if you did a heat dash afterwards, there was reduced knockback. Well, that is just a crazy idea. It probably never should have been like that. So this is a good change. Additionally, the damage scaling for combos under these conditions was changed from the previous 60% to 70%, aiming to strike a balance between combo length and reward. So basically they're saying the combos will be just as long, but they won't do as much damage because they'll have higher scaling. I don't know if that is the fix people want. I don't think combo damage is ever anything anybody complains about. I think it's always the length. And even if you want there to be this decision point of, do you do long combo for less damage or short combo for more damage? Even if you want to have that, the combos probably should still be shorter in the sense that there should be less ways to keep your combos going, right? Like that, I think, is the real problem, not this. So this is like, they're looking at the target and they fired their arrow and they didn't hit the bullseye here. They're on the target. They're on the target, but they did not hit the bullseye. They're kind of far from the bullseye. They're like in the outer ring. Unless again, maybe there's more here. All right, so this little first bit, we have this on this side, so it's nice and big for chat. All right, so we read all this already in the first box. Battle system behavior on counter hit. When a counter hit causes the opponent's behavior to change, the side counter hit behavior has been adjusted to make the front counter hit match the. I can't read. Side counter hit behavior has been adjusted to match front counter hit behavior. Okay, so basically, I guess it was different before. If you count, okay, this makes sense because I definitely have encountered before where you're slightly off axis and then you counter hit somebody and you don't get the same thing that if you get on the front side. This kind of gives you some consistency if you get a counter hit, which I don't hate necessarily. Kind of a big buff though across the board. You legit let the stick go for 10 to 14 seconds per combo. Well, I don't, because you never know. Your opponent might drop their combo. I guess that's the thing. You could also make combo shorter by increasing combo execution length or difficulty, right? If you make it harder to execute combos, then combos become shorter because people drop them more. But I don't know if people want that either. For the following characters who can stock a powered up state, the powered up state will now be removed in heat ends. Asuka, Brian, Claudio, Jack 8, Leo, Zafina, and Fakamram. So they lose their whatever their little powered up thing is, they lose it off after heat. Heat dash, remove the unique knockback scaling that was applied on hit. That's crazy. Didn't know there was unique knockback scaling, but now good to know. I'm glad it's gone. Previously, only heat dash allowed for longer than normal air combos, but moving forward, the behavior will be similar to air combos performed outside of heat dash. Okay. Maybe this will be a bigger impact than I'm anticipating. This knockback distance change. Rage Art. Change so that if the opponent's where'd that go? Change so that if the opponent's attack hits during frames 1 through 7, it will now count as a counter hit. Like the Rage Art will count as a counter hit. Knockback that knockback that recovers backwards automatically. Okay, I'm assuming that's a translation hiccup. To reduce situations where it would fail to wall splat, increase the number of frames that trigger wall splat by 2 frames. What does this mean? So basically they're saying if Dragunov does running 2, that would wall splat, but sometimes it wouldn't wall splat. And so they've increased the frames by which it might wall splat so that it consistently wall splats so that you don't miss your wall splats. Interesting. I mean, I don't hate that necessarily if it applies across the board. There's definitely scenarios where I definitely felt in season 1 and season 2 that I had moves that should have wall splatted and sometimes they just didn't. And it seemed inconsistent across different characters. And then like some characters had like magic wall splats where it's like, I don't know if I feel like I wasn't that close to the wall and yet somehow I still got wall splatted. So there's definitely an inconsistency there. Sliding knockback to reduce situations where it would fail to wall splat, increase the number of frames that trigger wall splat by one frame. So sliding knock Jin's forward 4. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. All right. Heat engagers that wall splat. To reduce situations where it would fail to wall splat, increase the number of frames that trigger wall splat by 5 frames. There are no changes to the behavior when the following moves hit. I feel like this is going to be wild in terms of the way wall splats feel. Also, why is June not on this list? June's 1+2 is a heat engager that wall splats, but it didn't get this adjustment, which is frustrating. That means they murdered her, I bet. All right. Also, Jin's not on this list, even though they mentioned Jin here. Oh, because it's a number difference. So I guess it's different numbers depending on the situation. Buffer inputs at the start of the round. Adjusted so that button inputs can now override movement inputs, even if the movement command was buffered beforehand. Okay. I've definitely had scenarios where I was buffering a jab at the start of a round and like Akazi was buffering a down forward 2 and I still got hit. Or electric, which like the jab should always beat the electric, right? I guess you could maybe argue that there's like a frame in the crouch dash where you're technically crouching and so you're technically going under the jab. But still, that's probably like that's not a good example, but there's other examples where someone definitely does something that's slower and they don't get hit. Or their move comes out first, despite probably both of you buffering it at like the same time. Heat burst. Fix an issue where in certain situations following up an air hit with a heat dash would cause the opponent to remain airborne, allowing an unintended air combo instead of entering the knockdown state as intended. I don't think June had this problem, but maybe for other folks they did. alleviate an issue where the positional relationship with the opponent becomes different than intended when used near the wall. Interesting. To improve controls, inputting up, back, back will now result in a backward walk instead of a backward jump. Interesting. Okay. Tornado. Fix an issue where triggering tornado or a wall could result in unintended behavior. I wish that was more specific, but okay. Low tornado. Fix an issue where when hitting an opponent with their back to the wall, follow-up attacks with some type of spell to connect only against Dragonov, Victor, or Falcon Realm. Okay, very specific. There's like 2 to 3 frames when you're couched. Oh, interesting. Okay. Good to know. Strong aerial tailspin. Knockdown where opponent lands face down upon hitting the ground. Fix an issue where right side Ukemi cannot be performed. Interesting. Huh. So I guess there's just some inconsistencies on wake up for certain strong aerial tailspins. Okay. Wake up low kick and wake up mid kick. Fix an issue where when inputting a move during a side roll, the character will sometimes attack in the opposite direction from the opponent. Interesting. So consistency fix. All right, to the character stuff. Do I even really care about reading all the characters? I guess I should, huh? I guess we should, at least for the characters we're interested in. We'll be quick about it. And then for ones we don't care about, we'll be quick. I mean, I said that wrong. We'll look at the ones we care about, and for the ones we don't care about, we'll be quick. Asuka. Asuka is a character who excels at mind games using reversal and status techniques, leveraging cancels and delays to keep opponents guessing. In version 3.0, we have adjusted her overly high air combo damage and direct mix-up strength, while making adjustments that allow her to better utilize the unique style of tactical exchanges that define Asuka's play. She gets a new move, up back 1/2. This is a mid-attack that is effective at catching the opponent's sidestep to the left. It can be canceled or returned to crouching. Interesting, though its startup is somewhat slow. I wonder how long startup somewhat slow is. After the cancel, using back 1+3 or 2+4 or back 4 helps suppress the opponent's attempt to retaliate. What does that mean? Making it effective to then go for mix-ups with 1+2 or down 1+2 once they become hesitant to respond. So basically they're saying we gave her a move she can cancel to mix you. We're making adjustments that allow her to better utilize the unique style of tactical exchanges that define Asuka's play. And we're reducing her high combo damage, and we're reducing her direct mix-up strength, right? We're reducing her direct mix-up strength. And then, a few lines later, after the cancel, using her parries helps suppress the opponent's attempts to retaliate, making it effective to then go for mix-ups. So they are reducing the mix-up strength, but then they're also like making it easier for her to mix people up with cancels. Okay. But I guess if the reward from that isn't a full combo, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. Especially if she is losing combo damage. So I could see a world where right now Asuka's kind of like an all-around demon, right? She can beat the shit out of you with relative safety. She also has super high combo damage. Asuka can do like June install levels of damage with no install or with no like damage power up install. So if they're nerfing the shit out of that, and maybe they're saying, okay, now you have to basically play in a style where you are trying to keep your opponent guessing, but you're keeping them guessing on offense, right? Because you're doing this really slow new move, and then you can cancel that into a parry. So you're trying to basically read the fact that they're trying to hit you before your move comes out. I can kind of fuck with that as an idea. Especially if she can't rush you down anymore, right? If she loses like her poking and her like rushing you down and her bullying, to have to play like that, then I suppose that's a good thing. Forward 2 now hits opponents more reliably when they sidestep to the right. Oh, so they made it track better to the right. That's cool. We've also resolved an issue where the axis would shift on hit, making it difficult to maintain offensive pressure. They're already fucking up. We haven't even gotten to any other characters other than like Asuka's general overview. And they're making adjustments that make it difficult to maintain offensive pressure. We don't want Asuka to maintain offensive pressure. We don't want anybody to really maintain offensive pressure. Maybe Steve should be allowed to do that, because Steve is a boxer. It's like his archetype as a boxer is that he maintains quick, probably high offensive pressure to like lock you down and poke you. Same with Nina. She's like that poke rush down archetype. She should lock you down and maintain offensive pressure. Why does Asuka need to be able to maintain offensive pressure? If we really want her to focus on reversal and status techniques, then really what she should be doing is getting you to do your offense. So she doesn't need to maintain her offensive pressure. Alas, I digress. Let's not get too upset at the writing. Perhaps there's some things being lost in translation from Japanese to English. All right. Added the new move Momiji Oroshi. I guess that's the name of it. And she can cancel it, I'm guessing, with down or back. She also got another new move. They didn't mention this new one. I like how they put this one in there, but they didn't mention this other one. What is this? Down back 1+2. You can now gain Naniwa Gusto by embedding down back 1+2 on hit 2. So she has another way to get her install. That's cool. The fourth hit of White Hair and Lower Dance can now be canceled into crouch. I really hope June gets that. That'd be kind of cool. There are some cancels like I've always wanted June's while standing 1+2 to be cancelable. Or not that. I've always wanted, which move is it? Down back 2. I've always wanted June's down back 2 to be cancelable. I just think that'd be cool. Similar, because then it'd be kind of like Kazuya's. It doesn't have as much reward as Kazuya's because Kazuya's is a counter hit launcher. It's not down back 2 on Kazuya. It's a down 1+2 on Kazuya. I've always wanted June's down back 2 to work the same way, but I don't want it to counter hit launch. So I just think it's fine. It'd just be fun to be able to use that as like a low mix up, or a low bait. Because I guess that's the right way to think about a move. A relatively slow move you can cancel is it's essentially bait. You can start that move up to bait someone, and then you can cancel it into whatever your like real strength is as a defensively focused character. Change the damage from 20. Okay, so you got some damage nerfs. Damage nerf. They buffed forward 2 so that it tracks more. Damage nerf. While crouching, hold down her full crouch down forward 3. 3 frames slower. We love that. Change the chip damage. Oh, and have the chip damage. That's nice. And increase the pushback. That's cool. I don't know what this is on block, but these are all good changes, I think. During the Naniwa Gusto up 1+2 combo damage, scaling on aerial hit has been changed from 50% to 40%. Isn't that a buff? Where are the arrows? Didn't they used to put arrows in the patch notes that were saying buffs or nerfs? Now they're just saying balance. Now they're just saying you figure it out. You guys determine if it's a buff or a nerf. 50% scaling to 40% scaling sounds like a buff to me, though. Change the damage from 30 to 26. Damage nerf. Hitbox collision stuff. Knockback distance. Full crouch down forward 2. The distance from the opponent on counter hit has been reduced. Okay, so it'll be closer. Reduce the opponent's recovery time on counter hit by 8 frames and adjusted the frame advantage on counter hit from +25 to +17. Although moves with startup up to 17 frames will still function as grounded combos, the displayed frame advantage of +25 frames made this interaction difficult to understand, so it has been adjusted. The displayed frame advantage. So did they change the displayed frame advantage, or did they change the actual frame advantage? All right. Azucena is a character who excels at applying pressure through tricky movements combined with stance positions, keeping opponents off balance as she attacks. I don't necessarily care. We have expanded her offense in neutral, okay, while also making adjustments to help her respond more effectively to the opponent's lateral movement. How do I feel about that? I don't know that she needed buffs. So basically, like, hey, Azucena sucks, we're going to buff her. She's going to have more offensive options, and she's going to lock you down from stepping more. I really kind of don't like that. Something about that feels wrong. Sidestep 3, added a new low attack with crouching status. Oh, nice. A high crouch. She can give her a high crouching low. That can be performed from a sidestep. By leveraging its transition into a crouching state, it easily leads into follow-ups such as While Rising 2, as well as offensive options like While Rising 3 and full crouch down forward 4. Wow, they're like, damn, let's give Azucena a sidestep, high crushing low that expands offensive options, because this is also apparently an expanding of offensive options and maintaining of offensive pressure patch. Addition of tools to suppress lateral movement, adjusted tracking on her standing 4 and forward 3 to make them more effective against opponent's lateral movement. Additionally, the startup of forward 3 has been revised, making it easier to use as a defensive counterattack in certain situations. A defensive counterattack. What does that mean? Oh, to like counter hit somebody, basically. Okay. Added new move, Mowing Kick. They should have called it Mewing Kick. Adjusted tracking performance. Okay. They made that move faster. So Azucena got buffed. That's, I think, the moral of the story. All right, we don't care about Azucena enough to dig into this deeply, and I don't know her enough to even dig into it deeply. Brian! Good old Byron. Makoto's character. Brian is a character who excels at restricting the opponent's movement with strong pressure tools, while aiming for counter hits by timing his responses to the opponent's retaliation. In version 3.0, we've adjusted his moves, particularly those that gain properties while holding Snake Eyes, to better balance their risk and reward, refining his overall set of neutral game options. New move! Sidestep 2-1. Made it possible to cancel the second hit when performing Sidestep 2-1 back, allowing easier adaptation based on the situation. This adjustment makes it more practical to incorporate a more practical option to incorporate into neutral play. I don't know what that move is off the top of my head. Revisions to certain moves when Snake Eyes is activated. Her, what is this, Incinerator? The 4-2-1-2-3-2. Its offensive options tended to become too one-sided, so adjustments have been made to allow offense and defense to shift more easily. And then forward 2, we have increased the amount of the heat timer to consume and adjusted the opponent's behavior on hit to reduce its overall. What does that mean? Adjust the opponent's behavior on hit. I wonder what that means. So they can cancel this. Let's see. The real question I'm curious about with Brian is really frame advantage. That's a frame advantage buff, it looks like. Modify the opponent's behavior on block. Okay, so that's a nerf though. -9. And then what else? Where else do we have some things? Down 4. Adjusted collision detection, reducing the distance between characters on hit or block. Adjusted the hurt box. And the distance from the opponent onto block on block to reduce situations where certain attacks would unintentionally rift. Interesting. So I'm assuming this didn't counter hit, and now it does. Modify the opponent's behavior when hit from behind. Adjusted the opponent's behavior on down hit. Increased the distance from the opponent on down hit for taunt. Remove the special extended buffer window that made. Okay, so they nerfed taunt heat smash. Okay. Sidestep 1's been changed. More consumption of heat when he does Incinerator, and then looks like some frame advantage changes. Ooh, -13. Nice. That's cool. I appreciate that. And reduced knockback distance, because I feel like that also is a factor. Real quick, let me make sure I'm actually getting the latest game. There it is. What else is there? Adjusted so that when the first or second hit lands, the front-facing hit, the opponent now turns to face the attacker. Interesting. Forward 2, chip damage, just no frame advantage changes. That's really what I'm looking for. Damage changed from Slither Step 1+2. Well, Brian didn't really get hit that hard at all, other than Snake Eye stuff. No frame changes. It's kind of crazy, other than on Incinerator. So Brian's still going to be kind of a menace, I think. He's still going to be kind of a menace. He'll be a slightly less annoying menace, kind of, but still a menace. He kind of got a slap on the wrist, low-key. All right, Claudio. I don't really care about Claudio, but I'm interested to see what they say about him. I'm interested to see how. I'm interested for them to talk about weaknesses he should have in the first paragraph, and then talk about how they made sure he didn't have those weaknesses in the subsequent paragraphs. Claudio is a character who controls the neutral game with strong, mid, and high-range tools while applying distinctive offense through the use of Starburst. In version 3.0, system-wide adjustments made it more difficult to maintain Starburst, so a new move has been added that allows him another option to gain Starburst. Additionally, we have adjusted the feel and usability of his core moves to help him better showcase his unique characteristics. What if he just had to work harder to get Starburst? You know? I wonder if they understand that they can do that. It's like, hey guys, we understand that after Heat, he no longer has Starburst, which means it's now harder for him to get Starburst, because he cannot just hit a button anymore to get Starburst by going into Heat. And so what we did was, we gave him a button he can press so that he can get Starburst without burning a resource, like having to go into Heat, because we made it harder for him to get Starburst from Heat. I'm not crazy, right? Is that not the logic here? Is that not what they're saying right now? Added the mid-attack Orbit Slice, which gains Starburst on hit. It serves as an easy-to-use option for gaining Starburst during neutral. An easy-to-use option. It's not even hard. Oh my god. So like, it shouldn't be harder to get Starburst. This powered up state you have, it shouldn't actually be harder to do that. You can't get it from Heat anymore. It's like a bait and switch. It's like, hey guys, look at this. We're nerfing Heat. You're not going to have your install anymore in Heat. Won't that be great that he's not going to have that in Heat anymore? We moved it over there to the new move. And the new move is an easy-to-use mid. And near the wall, it can be utilized alongside Sidestep 4, allowing players to choose between them depending on this. And we gave him a mix-up. That move is designed to be a mix-up with Sidestep 4. So during near the wall, you can You have options on how to fuck up your opponent in game Starburst. Your powered up state that you can no longer gain from, or no longer retain by going into heat. Revisions and core moves, adjustments have been made to forward 3+ forward or improve its usability as situations in which it could be applied were previously quite limited. Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Hey, Claudio had this move and, you know, it wasn't super usable and he couldn't use it in only but a few limited situations, so he made it so he can use it in more places. Additionally, because Claudio is a character who primarily relies on a mid and high range attacks, we revised the low attack Sidestep 4, which tended to overly restrict the opponent's options in certain situations. Okay, so Sidestep 4 is getting a nerf. That's interesting. Alongside these changes, several of the moves that had notable effects in specific scenarios have also been reviewed to maintain their overall balance. See, this is an interesting set of words to put together. We reviewed some moves to make sure they maintain their overall balance, and it's like, don't you understand that I feel like the balance does not need to be maintained? In some cases, the balance just needs to be shattered, and you need to change the overall power direction, not maintain. That's how you end up with, he can no longer get Starburst. It's going to be harder for him to get Starburst, so we made it easy to get Starburst with this other thing, which is like, what was you don't understand why people were mad that he could have Starburst after heat if you then give him another way to easily get Starburst. You're just like, oh, the people are upset, let's move things around and play musical chairs and hope that they don't notice. But who knows? Maybe the nerfs to Sidestep 4 will be enough to offset that. Let's see. Adjusted opponent's behavior on block and frame advantage on block from -8 to -4. So this got safer. This move that was previously less usable. Okay, less active frames on up forward 2. I think that's the Ya move. The Ya that he does. The Claudio cowboy move. So this is now -14 and -12. Okay, I see some good frame adjustments at least. And that's it. Wow. They didn't change his guard break at all. So Claudio buffed overall? Is that, I mean, I guess these frame nerfs might be okay, so up forward 2, the Ya being 1 active frame less will make it easier to step. You can step it to the left pretty trivially, but it can be tricky from a timing standpoint. And I think that's because of this extra active frame. And that's a pretty important tool in terms of Claudio bullshit to deal with. We'll just have to see how it plays, I think. We'll have to see how it plays if we ever encounter a Claudio online, because we don't ever be running into Claudio. But if we do run into one and he does Ya, we'll be able to get a sense of like, is this easier or harder to step? It should be easier. Or I guess it's easier or the same, right? Because they didn't make it better. And then there's other frame changes. I just, so far I'm just like the way they put words together, I feel like it almost makes me want them to stop putting so many words together. All right, Clive. A lot of people say Clive is really good. I don't know that I agree, but I also don't really be losing to Clive. So it could just be that I don't fight good Clives, so I don't have a sense of how strong he is. Clive is a character who dominates mid to long range combat with his far-reaching weapon attacks and a wide variety of techniques that draw upon his dominant power. His playstyle is defined by the use of his unique Zantetsuken. Or is it Zantetsuken? I thought it was Zanzetsuken. We made overall balance adjustments to the character, including change. They are going to buff Zanzetsuken, aren't they? We've added a new technique that creates the Wicked Wheel from the original game. What? What is the Wicked Wheel? Let's Google it. I don't know what that is. Is this gonna be some crazy shit? Did they just add some crazy Final Fantasy shit? Wicked Wheel, Final Fantasy. Wow, that's loud. Does this actually have the Wicked Wheel? Oh, that's cool, I guess. This is the Wicked Wheel, I guess. Not all that, but this little thing he does after. So he can just do that now? They just gave him that move. That's cool, I guess. We love to see that. New moves with big AoEs. We like that. We love that in our Tekken game. All right. We've increased the amount of Zanzetsuken gained. We've increased the amount of gauge gained from several gauge building actions. So he'll be able to get Zanzetsuken 5. Yeah, I was gonna say they buffed it. Great. What else? What else do they do? Recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 3 frames. So +8 to +5. Okay, so frame advantage, change, frame advantage, nerf. I guess that's how I should look at it. Nerf, damage buff to Zanzetsuken. Or not damage, but gauge gain buff. Frame buff to, what is this? 1/1 or 2/2 1+2. And they removed an active frame, so that'll make it easier to step, I think. I think a lot of these active frame changes are just like to make it easier to step these moves. 1+2, to make the move easier to evade with lateral movement, reduce the hitbox size, and weaken its tracking when the opponent is standing or crouching. That's good. This is a good change. Recovery time on block, -4 to -6, +6 to +4. Okay, so for more frame nerfs. So I guess they're pairing his Zanzetsuken changes with some frame nerfs, which is good. I don't mind that. All right. I don't really have any other thoughts on Clive, to be honest. Again, we don't really be losing to Clive, so I guess we'll see if Zanzetsuken changes make that any different. Probably not, no. Devil Jin is a character with high execution difficulty, yet he can easily apply mix-ups using mid and low attacks, stemming from the Wind God step. In version 3, we've made adjustments to improve the consistency of his air combos and to make it easier for players to create and capitalize on the situations they aim for. New move, While Rising 1-4. We brought back Twin Revival, a move that previously appeared in Tekken 7. This is a While Rising attack with a 13-frame startup that knocks the opponent down on hit, making it a useful option to mix in after blocking certain moves. Interesting. Huh. So a 13-frame While Rising knockdown. Okay. Favor in situations where attacks would hit, but follow-up offense can become unstable, such as during air combos when near a wall or after transitioning into various stances has been revised. These adjustments make it easier for accurate inputs and precise decision-making to reliably lead to the intended outcomes, reinforcing the character's identity as one that rewards high execution. I can get behind that. I can get behind, like, if you do the input, the move you input should come out and it should be consistent. Devil Jin did have some of those problems. So he's got an old move from Tekken 7 back. We've strengthened the tracking when transitioning into Morning Crow. Oh, that's a little I guess it's only on transition, so it's when these moves hit and you can move into Morning Crow. That's maybe not the worst thing in the world. They buffed his up forward 1 so that damage is not recoverable. They made up forward 3 +13. Interesting. And then they lowered the active frame window. Or jump status frame window, I guess is a better way of looking at that. While Rising 3, you can now use the move with crouch dash 3+4. Interesting. So basically, instead of having to crouch dash cancel While Rising 3, they made it so that you can just crouch dash 3+4. Can you already do that? I wasn't sure if you could already do that in Season 2. From what I'd heard, that was something you could already do. And then heat stuff. I don't really care. Looks like it's consistency stuff, mostly. All right. That's it for Devil Jin. Dragunov. Dragunov is a character who excels at breaking down the opponent with straightforward mid and low attacks, applying pressure proactively. In version 3, new moves were added and existing ones were revised, with the goal of making it easier for him to initiate offense while preserving his core strengths. So far, at the beginning of this session, they were like, yeah, we really want to lean into character concepts, strengths, and weaknesses. And yet, so far, all we've really read is maintaining offensive pressure for Asuka, easy to use mid options so that he can account for the fact that he no longer retains Starburst after heat for Claudio. And now more maintaining of offensive pressure for Dragunov and preserving core strengths and easily initiated offense, which, like, let's be real. Did Dragunov really struggle to initiate offense? Of all the characters in the game, Dragunov was struggling to initiate offense? I don't know about that. Dragunov was already, like, kind of a sleeper. He's not, like, the best character in the game necessarily, but he's kind of a sleeper in that he's better than I think he gets credit for, than, like, community sentiment gives him credit for. So I feel like Dragunov buffs would be a mistake. That would kind of put us back into Season 1. And we're going to end up with, like, 4 Dragunovs in Evo again. But let's see. They made this move. Forward 1+2 is now faster. What else is there? Consistency hits. Okay, and then consistency stuff. Wow, that was it? So basically they buffed Dragunov. They're like, yeah, Dragunov needed to be easier to initiate offense, so let's go ahead and buff the boy. I'm hurting. Yeah, so far, I'm not a fan of the philosophy here. Because indicates that they don't understand what was wrong in season 2, which I kind of figured was going to be the case, but it just hurts each time that that's reinforced. Each time I see that Bandai Namco doesn't know what they're doing, it hurts a little more, you know? At some point, I just hope that they're going to like realize it and understand how it could even just be how they're conveying things. So we haven't played the game. We don't know that it may play just fine, you know? But the way they're describing it, it's like, you missed the point. I think you missed the point, Bandai Namco. I think you're off the mark just a little bit. I think Claudio section is like the most obvious version of that. Because the way I read that is like, basically Claudio got buffed. Because for whatever reason, Claudio needs that. Of all the characters in the game, Claudio needed to be buffed, I guess. And I guess in their minds, it's like, yeah, but not having Starburst after Heat is such a huge nerf. Is it? I have not gotten to Jin yet. We're on Eddie right now. We're at the Eddie section. I don't really care about Eddie though, so I most of the time I'm just reading like the character overviews on these character ones because I'm just curious to see the shit they say. Initiate offense through wide variety of low attacks and unorthodox movements from his stances. He is a very frustrating character to fight because he's always moving around doing shit, and it's like, what is he about to throw out? In version 3.0, adjustments were made with a focus on expanding offensive options. It's like season 2 all over. It's like I'm being re-triggered because we talked about at the beginning. They said core character concepts, strengths, weaknesses, and so far all I've read is maintain offensive pressure, easier to initiate offense, expand offensive options. I'm starting to think they don't understand what strengths and weaknesses mean. They were like, yeah, now that Claudio can't get Starburst from Heat, it's going to be harder for him to get Starburst. So we added a whole fucking new move they can use as a deliberate mix-up with Sidestep 4 to get Starburst. And it's like, do you not understand that by you created a situation where there's weakness, where the player might have to overcome the difficulties of their character and excel at using their character to achieve what was previously possible? And you're like, no, we can't have that. We're going to give you this easy to use mid. We don't want you to get better player. We're just going to give you an option. We're going to do musical chairs and shuffle around the ways that you achieve the things that you achieve. And it's not going to be in Heat anymore. So now people will stop hating the Heat system because we'll say, look guys, we fixed Heat. We just moved some of the annoying Heat shit over to other places. Okay. Through the addition of new moves and improving existing ones, it has been made easier for him to create advantageous situations depending on the circumstance. I don't know that Eddie needed to be able to more easily create advantageous situations. Eddie fundamentally is advantageous because his animations are confusing. Like, frankly, I've labbed Eddie a little bit. I don't fight that many Eddies, so that's probably part of the problem, but I've labbed him a bit. Some of it is just like, yo, you just got to guess because his animations are like, you know, you're just going to, he's down there on the ground, moving around, and you just got to guess about what's going to come out because the animation is not going to be super clear unless you just spent hours and hours and hours looking at Eddie animations and like burning them in your head so that you know exactly what's coming based on the slightest variations in his animations. And I don't even know that if you did that there are enough variations for you to like reliably guess. But just in case there were, we gave him some new moves so that he could more easily mix you the fuck up and confuse you about what the fuck he's doing. All right, well, that's cool. I don't even want to... I'm actually curious about frame stuff, though, just to get a general sense of, like, frame advantage. Okay, so you got frame nerfs. I can appreciate frame nerfs, and I can also understand that frame nerfs are not something they're going to, like, comment on in the overviews. But if there's, like, a net... Let's say across the board, even though, again, their overview section is... So far, they're failing F grade right now on all the overview sections. But if the frame nerfs across the board are enough, then maybe it's better than my initial reaction is feeling. If they're doing frame nerfs, because I like this. Like +7 to +5 is great. -13 to -14 is great. We love that. +9 to +5 is great. Nothing should really be above +6 in my opinion. I don't necessarily believe in +7 and above. So the fact that they're doing some frame nerfs. This though, whatever this is, just the startup frames of the first attack from 17 to 14. I don't think that Eddie needed anything to be faster in his toolkit, if I'm being real. Shai was kind of wild. We're working our way there, Cold Soul. So far, I'm not happy. Let's just put it that way. I am confused at some of the decisions Bandai Namco continues to make in their balancing. Just based off what I've read so far. Obviously, the game may play differently, and I'm open to the idea that the game will feel fun to play with these changes. And maybe there is an impact, a bigger impact of subtle changes that will feel great. But there are these moments in reading the patch notes where I feel like I'm getting like Bandai Namco's old, crusty, moldy, smegma infested dick whipped in my face. And in season 2, it was when they were like, yeah, you know, Claudio really struggled to maintain offensive pressure, so we gave him some more of that. And like Jin really struggled in Heat to maintain pressure. Like that was some shit they actually put in the season 2 patch notes. And that's like, it's like getting a big smegma dick just hitting you in the face. And I feel like that moment has already happened for me with both Asuka. For whatever reason, Asuka needing to maintain offensive pressure, and then Claudio losing the easy starburst option from Heat and then getting another easy starburst option, which, because it's not in Heat, actually doesn't require any resource use. So it's actually a fucking buff to Claudio. And don't get me wrong, like Claudio may not be the best character in the game, but I don't think he needed buffs. I don't think anybody needed buffs. So the fact that they're like, let's buff Claudio, let's buff Dragunov. I'm just like, so far we're only on Fakuram, and I'm already like, what are we doing, man? Namco? Where are the strengths and weaknesses? You said strengths and weaknesses. Where did they go? Do you not know what that means? It's like, do you guys understand? Maybe maybe it's like a big translation gap. It's like, I don't know if they get it. Yeah, stay away. I'm in shambles. Oh boy. Did they nerf Fang? Well, Fang's on the next page. All right, let's see. Fakuram is characterized by his ability to maintain control of the match, the powerful offensive tools, and strong pressure. Adjustments were made with a focus on bug fixes and stabilizing move behavior without significantly altering his core character traits. He got a new move. A new two-hit attack that triggers an airborne tornado state was added. Okay. I don't know if he needed that, but okay. Triggers airborne tornado state when just on normal hit. His damage is too high for this. His combo damage. So like, do we see? There are no damage nerfs. So okay. So he's just a mess. Asuka. What about Asuka? Don't you feel like Asuka needed a way? Asuka needed more moves to be able to cancel into maintaining offensive pressure. You don't feel like Asuka needed some help on the maintaining of offensive pressure? Shall you? Or Cold Soul? Did I miss anything crazy? They buffed Dragunov, I think, as how I would interpret it overall. Kind of. Well, no, I don't have to interpret it. We can just look at what they said. New moves were added and existing ones were revised with the goal of making it easier for him to initiate offense. What did they say for Eddie? Adjustments were made with a focus on expanding his offensive options. So I don't actually have to interpret these as buffs or nerfs. I can just read what they're saying to us. They view this as expanding offensive options for Eddie, and they view Dragunov as making it easier for him to initiate offensive pressure or initiate offense, which again, Dragunov wasn't the best character in the game in season 2, but I don't know that he needed it to be easier to initiate offense. Like, you watch Ulsan play Dragunov at EWC, you watch good Dragunov players, you do have to use your brain to use him, but I don't know that he struggled to initiate offense. I don't know if he needed that to be easier. I don't know if Eddie needed expanding of his offensive options so that he can more easily create advantageous situations. It's like, where are the weaknesses? I love, like, this character is specifically supposed to be fucking weak at X. And so we've adjusted, A, B, and C so that he's fucking weak at X. Instead, I'm saying, adjustments were made with the focus on expanding offensive options. Fakuram didn't, to be fair, Fakuram didn't get that statement, even though this is, I think, kind of that. So even if they don't say it, that's what they do. Like, yeah, we're gonna not significantly alter his core character traits, but he's gonna get this new move that instant tornadoes. Which again, like, you could argue, some I've seen people say Fakuram is the worst character in the game. I think that's frankly just crazy. I don't know who's the worst character in the game. I guess Deviljin is what a lot of people would say. I would agree. I sooner agree with Deviljin being the worst than Fakuram. Who else is? I'd have to look at my tier. What was my tier list? I don't believe Fakuram is bad. I think Fakuram. I don't think he's broken, but he's like a slightly worse Brian, and Brian is like arguably the best character in the game. Oh, Leroy was who I thought was the worst character. Well, actually, no, I can't go based on that because I didn't technically rank them. Zafina or Leroy. I don't know enough about them to say. I think I had Eddie at the bottom. Eddie, Victor, Lee, and Jack. Maybe I would say that Jack was the worst character in season 2, which is kind of crazy because I think Ulsan had Jack in like top 5. But I don't know who else I would put that. Maybe Xiaoyu? The problem is I fight Cold Soul too much. I can't let myself believe that Xiaoyu's bad because Cold Soul is so good with Xiaoyu. Maybe Lydia. Maybe Lydia is one of the worst. I thought I got to fight a God Lydia in like a long set like a month ago. And the more that set went, the more I'm like, okay, Lydia is annoying, but she's not that good. Once you start to like see the patterns and like how Lydia plays, she's actually kind of awful. Buff Lydia, oh, we haven't gotten there. Maybe, I'm sure she will have gotten there. Right now, they're sprinkling a little bit of maintain offensive pressure and initiate offense, easy to initiate offense, and mix up opponents. They're sprinkling that all around. I'm sure Lydia got some. All right, Fang. Fang is characterized by its wide range of grounded options, strong countermeasures, and easy evasive movement enabled by Deceptive Step. In version 3.0, adjustments were made with the goal of expanding his offensive options from Shifting Clouds. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, is Shifting Clouds not a defensive option? Isn't Shifting Clouds a defensive option? And they were like, hey, what if we expanded his offensive options from the defensive option? Because it's a parry, right? Shifting Clouds is a parry. And like, hey, maybe this parry should have offensive options. I almost like don't want to keep reading the patch notes. Like it's like, what is this? It is, but Fang is cheeks? No, Fang is not cheeks, Cold Soul. You need to fight Bumbleton's Fang because if there's anything, I don't think Fang is the best character in the game by any means, but Fang is not cheeks. I will say that Fang and June are equally strong. I'll even grant that Fang is as bad as June and that they're equally strong, or that June is as good as Fang. But Fang is not cheeks. And just like I don't think June is cheeks. I just can't fathom. Okay, so again, I remember at the beginning I was like, I hope they talk about the weaknesses and strengths. I hope they talk about the concepts they're building around. I hope they explain that. And so far, we haven't seen any weaknesses alluded to at all. We haven't even seen a weakness pointed at. Instead, it's like, yeah, they need to like expand offensive options from Shifting Clouds. Because Fang's strength is wide range of grounded options, strong countermeasures, and evasive movement. And in version 3.0, we gave him more offensive options. So like, where's the weakness part? What happened to the whole strengths and weaknesses? Where are the weaknesses? What are the weaknesses supposed to be? Now he has even more offensive options to go along with his wide range of grounded options and strong countermeasures. New move, back-facing opponent, so he can go to transition into Shifting Clouds from a back turn position. Wow. So you're basically just infinitely infinite. You could not infinitely, but you can just always be in Shifting Clouds. His weakness is damage. If his weakness is damage, I guess I want them to call out I would love for them to say, hey, look, we're going to expand the offensive options, but to further highlight his weaknesses, we're also going to nerf his damage because we want that to be his weakness. And they did, right? This is a damage number going down, whatever this heat move is, 10 to 23 to 10 and 20. I took 3 damage off of that. But he got a frame advantage buff in this move. 4-3. And then what else? This is a nerf. -11 to -15 and 0 to -4. And -8 to -14. That's actually kind of huge. -8 to -14 is a big change. I'll give them that. But I just wish they would, in terms of how they talk about the offensive options they're adding, I wish they would also add in like a line that's like, and so some of the nerfs, like this -8 to -8 to -14 can be huge depending on what the move is. I don't know like what this move is for Fang, but like that can be a really big change. But I wish they like called it out as like it wasn't just like here's all, we're going to give you a bunch of offense, but like sprinkled in the notes is going to be changes that we interpret as being the weaknesses that we're highlighting. But we're not going to like put them front and center the way that we're putting the new shiny offensive options you're getting. I didn't expect much, but they still managed to surprise me with how disappointing this is. Yeah, I mean, again, the game may feel better to play. We don't know. It's possible that the sum of all of the changes in terms of buffs and nerfs balances out to something that is more fun. Just wait until you get to King. If they buff King, all I care about, I have one angry, fiery, burning thing I hate about this game, and it's that King's Heat Smash hits grounded. And if that's gone, I honestly, there'll be peace in my heart. if King's Heat Smash doesn't hit grounded anymore, finally my heart will have peace when playing Tekken 8. If that shit still hits grounded, then Bandai Namco actually hates me and they don't want me to play their game. And the same way that Call of Duty hates me and doesn't want me to play their game. All right. Heihachi is characterized by close range combat that applies constant pressure through strong mid and high attacks. In version 3, adjustments were made to address bugs and stabilize certain behaviors that were previously inconsistent, while also making it easier for him to maintain offensive mind games. I wonder how often making it easier for appears in these patch notes. Like making it easier and then later in the same sentence offensive. I wonder like how much of that is. I feel like every single character has had that. Like Heihachi, making it easier for him to maintain offensive mind games. Fang, expanding his offensive. It's not all making. They also say expanding, as if offense wasn't already easy enough. Apparently not. You know, it's hard out here for a Heihachi player. Apparently, new holdable mid attack. Shouldn't they just say chargeable? On counter hit allows a floor break to be triggered. Up back 1+2. That's cool. That's cool. He does need that, I think. Although the move can be held to introduce mind game potential, proper use requires evaluating the opponent's actions and surroundings. This is a dumbass statement. Is it? Am I just mad? Can he cancel it? Well, I guess as soon as he lets go, it triggers the move. Something about this I don't like. Like a charge move, basically. It's not a charge move because you can let it go at any point, I'm guessing. I don't know that this doesn't feel like it's Heihachi, you know, like it doesn't strike me as like being aligned with his character concept. And no frame changes at all to Heihachi or damage changes. So good fucking luck. Oh, there is a chip damage change on running 3. That's it. Hwoarang. Hwoarang is characterized by maintaining pressure and controlling the pace of the match through his right flamingo and left flamingo stances, leveraging a wide variety of strings to continue his offense. In Season 3, adjustments were made with a focus on expanding his options and air combos, while also revisiting several techniques that previously offered exceptionally high performance. Okay. They give a new move from left flamingo. It allows air combos to be extended into floor-based stage gimmicks, and it expands the available combo routes that use both right and left flamingo, enabling more situationally appropriate selections. Back 1 has been changed to -15. This move got a damage buff. Whatever this is got a buff of 3 frames. Some damage nerfs. Oh, a damage nerf to whatever this is. But this got a damage buff. So it's like we did a damage nerf, but then this one got the air hit gets less damage, but the ground hit gets more damage. They didn't actually change the whiff recovery though, did they? Left flamingo forward 3. Isn't that the power crush? That's like super crazy whiff recovery. They changed the damage though, so that it does less damage in the air. I don't know about that. Kazuya. Okay, this is where it finally. This page will be the interesting page. I think this has June on it. Wait, where was June? H. I must have skipped the page. Okay, hold on. These weren't in order. I was like, what the fuck? How do we go from Hwoarang to Heihachi? Or to Kazuya? All right. Let's see. Jack 8 is characterized by applying mid-range pressure and explosive power, engaging in mind games that incorporate Gamma Charge. Major adjustments were not made to the fundamental balance of existing moves. Instead, changes were focused on situations where follow-ups failed to connect or where whiffs were likely to occur at specific scenarios. So basically, Jack be whiffing and Jack be failing to follow up. With these fixes, post-hit situations have been made more stable. Jack's overall behavior has been made further stabilized. So basically, consistency buffs. A new mid-attack that is easy to use at close range. Jack definitely needed that. All right. Jin. Jin is characterized as an all-rounder with solid neutral... Wait, hold on. I do want to get a general sense of... Before I just breeze past. We're looking at frame nerfs. or damage nerfs. Damage or frame nerfs are what I'm curious about. So he kind of got, this is a frame buff. He kind of got nothing. Just consistency fixes. So Jack is basically the same. And he has a new move. Jhin is characterized by as an all-rounder with solid neutral control and a well-balanced set of offensive and defensive options. In season 3, elements, including those related to heat that had become overly strong in specific situations, were adjusted, while multiple moves in both normal stance and special stances received improvements to their behavior and ease of use. New move during heat. New mid-attack, usable only during heat, was added. This move was intended to broaden Jhin's offensive options while in the heat state. When did season 2 come out? Season 2, right? This is a visceral moment for me in season 2. In season 2, Jhin has received various adjustments that slightly tone down the effectiveness of low-risk pokes while expanding his offensive options through his unique mechanics, such as Zancian, Breaking Step, and Heat State. And it's like, did Jhin need that? Oh, here we go. Additionally, Jhin lacked sufficient options to maintain Heat State while staying aggressive. This is the line where I'm like, what the fuck? How does anyone look at season 1 Jhin and say this statement? And then they're like, so we gave him a little more. We gave him a little more heat sauce. And here we are, a whole season later. It's like, in season 3, elements, including those related to heat, that had become, or where did they say it? This move was intended to broaden Jhin's offensive options while in heat. We're broadening Jhin's offensive options in heat yet again. Let's see. What else did they give him? Down forward. This is what? Down forward during heat, down forward 2, 1+2. I wonder what that move looks like. Change the damage from 48 to 50, so we got a damage buff. Forward 1+2. Attack has been changed from 25. You got a frame buff. And a heat buff. It consumes less heat and is faster. This sidestep move went from negative to safe. Wow, that's crazy. 2-4. Change the opponent's behavior on aerial hit. Does this mean it doesn't tailspin anymore? That actually would be a pretty big deal. From a balance perspective. That'd be quite the big nerf if he lost that tailspin. Down to the opponent's change on. They buffed down to counter hit launches again? Is that what I'm supposed to interpret from this? Because I don't know how else you'd change the behavior on counter hit. What else is in here? Increase the distance from the opponent on a down hit with the first hit. Interesting. That's his can. They do a little spin downward. Okay, so they didn't bring back the tornado is what you're saying. Guarantees a follow-up on counter hit. Okay, so they didn't go all the way back to a combo situation. They just made it so that he gets a follow-up. I guess that's fine. Interesting though. Okay, so Jhin got buffed, right? I don't think there's a nerf in. I don't see a nerf in here, except unless 2-4 doesn't tailspin anymore. That'd be pretty crazy. Because I think it was 2-4 that tailspinned, right? All right, Tamama Kazama. Jhin is characterized by her ability to replenish recoverable health and by utilizing enhancements granted by Kazama Essence. In Season 3, her available options were expanded through the addition of new moves that better leverage these character traits. So they view Jhin as a character that replenishes health and uses Kazama Essence. Okay. While the behavior of several existing cheat techniques was also reviewed and adjusted. New move, 3-2. Okay. A new, fast-starting move suitable for use as a guaranteed punish was added. On hit, it allows recoverable health to be restored and increases Kazama Essence, but it can also trigger an airborne tornado. It was designed to make situational judgment and reward selection easier. I don't like that at all. The startup and behavior of several existing moves were reviewed and adjusted. As a result, their punish capability and overall usability. Oh, so June got buffed. They're like, we're really gonna. It's got a silly spinfall now. Gotcha. They're like, we're gonna buff June. I mean, listen, she was bad, but I don't think she needed to be buffed, to be honest. As a result, their punish capable. They buffed her punishment. People are really gonna hate June now. Damn. Okay, so standing 3 got a nerf from 20 to 14. Behavior opponent on hit has been changed because you can do this 3-2 now and get a tornado, apparently. Reduce the hitbox. Oh, I don't like that at all. Change the opponent's behavior on aerial hit so that, I guess, I wonder what that means. Adjust the opponent's behavior on block and change the frame advantage on block from -13 to -10. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. The distance from the opponent on block has been reduced. That kind of really changes what that move is for June. Definitely a buff. Definitely a buff, kind of. It's a buff, but it's also a playstyle change for how you use that move. Previously, this move dealt forward 1+2. Previous move dealt 0 damage on hit, but now it deals 5 recoverable damage. This move cannot cause a KO. Wow. This is maybe June's most broken move, her forward 1+2. So buffing it is kind of insane. Down forward 1-1. Increase the opponent's recovery time on hit by 3 frames and change the frame advantage on hit from +2 to +5. Okay. Interesting. Can. Change the damage from 520 to 515. Can damage nerf. Okay. Down back 2. Damage buff on down back 2. I would prefer that it be cancelable, but I'll take a damage buff, I guess, on that move. I do use down back 2 quite a bit these days. Back 4-2. The behavior of the opponent on hit has been changed. Does it not counter hit launch anymore? That would be frustrating. Back 3+. What the fuck is back 3+4? Oh, her power crush. They buffed her power crush by 6 frames? The distance from the opponent on block has been reduced. I don't know how I like that. That's crazy. During sidestep 4, the distance from the opponent on block has been reduced. Wait, that's also kind of a crazy buff. You're already like super close. Azuma 1-1. The behavior of the opponent on hit has been changed. What does that mean? Change the opponent's behavior on aerial hit. So does it not tornado anymore? These are things I have to know. I have to know. Up back 1+2, an issue was fixed where the move could be performed with unintended commands. Oh my god! Yes! This happened to me so often. I would get up back 1+2 for no fucking reason. I'm like, my fingers aren't even in a configuration that could like accidentally be interpreted as up back 1+2. What the fuck? So I'm glad they did that, because that was really annoying. Sir, turn the game on? I guess I could turn on the game and look at some of these things. You make a good point, Cold Steel. While rising 2-1, when the second hit had already been buffered, the opponent's behavior on counter hit of the first hit was made consistent with that of a normal hit. In accordance with this change, the input window for the second hit was shortened by 2 frames. When the second hit had already been buffered, the opponent's behavior on counter hit of the first hit was made consistent with that of a normal hit. Interesting. I don't know what this means. I guess we'll just have to see. While crouching 3+4, 3. What even is that? Am I a bad June player that I have no idea what that is? Fuck that game, read me some... We're gonna get to it. I do want to have the game open, though. Is my controller plugged in? Please, controller. I don't want to hear tech music. I have my own, we got the L spin going. All right, at least my mouse. I'll use my moose. All right. What is full crouch? While crouching 3+4, 3. I have no idea what that move is. This is like a move I've never used. While crouching down forward 2, the opponent's recovery on counter hit was reduced by 4 frames, changing the frame advantage from +18 to +14. Although moves with startup up to 14 frames will still connect as grounded combos. The adjustment was made because the displayed value of +18 frames was misleading. Okay. During Azumo 3, during hit 2, Sumo 3 or Sumo 4. I see. Enhance the track. I read that wrong. Enhance the tracking only on hit of the first hit, reducing instances where the second hit would whiff. There were scenarios where the first hit would hit in the. I guess. Okay. This is interesting. We're gonna keep these up because I'm curious. Because these other pages. All right, Kazuya. Kazuya is characterized by close range mind games built around the Wind God Step, as well as offensive pressure that leverages moves enhanced during Devil Form. In Season 3, adjustments were made to address bugs and inconsistencies in behavior while also improving usability of several moves. No move! Devil Form 112 down. During Devil Form 112 forward would cause Kazuya and the opponent to switch positions on activation, which could force him into disadvantageous orientations depending on the situation. To address this behavior, a new move was added that allows the attack to be performed without switching sides to the opponent. Okay? The startup behavior on block and behavior on counter hit of down back 2 were reviewed and adjusted. Since the move can trigger a floor break on counter hit, it has been made easier to incorporate into offense starters and close range mind games. Does this mean it knocks down now on hit? It's 18 frames now? That's crazy. The opponent's behavior on block was changed, setting their state from crouching to standing, and the frame advantage on block was from... Wow, that's a huge buff for down back 2. Oh my gosh. Sidestep for 1, reduce recovery by 1 frame on hit. I think that's a nerf. Increase the distance from the opponent on a down hit with the first hit. Oh, so this is not... Well, you could do this thing where you could like heat dash and then do up forward 4, the up forward 4 string and to like extend the combo. That's probably not going to work anymore. During wall combos at extremely close range, reduce the forward movement in order to alleviate an issue where the positional relationship with the opponent becomes different than intended when using the wall. Okay. Down forward 2, hitbacks is expanded downward to be able to hit Xiaoyu. Adjust the opponent's behavior down forward 3-1. Adjust the opponent's behavior on back hit of the first hit. Oh, I've seen that before. Where if Kazuya was basically off axis, then the second hit would miss. Okay. Down back 3, hitboxes are expanded upwards, alleviating instances where the attack would miss in certain situations. Okay, so overall, Kazuya buffs. Kazuya been buffed out here. An issue was fixed where heat timer would not recover when certain stage gimmicks were triggered on hit. Huh. Interesting. All right. King is characterized by close range mind games centered around his wide variety of throws. In Season 3, adjustments were made to temper aspects of his toolkit that had become overly reliant on regular strikes. Oh, does that mean down forward 2-1 doesn't counter hit at launch anymore? While preserving his strength as a character with numerous throws. As a result, his throw techniques can now be utilized more strategically. Does that mean more easily, Bandai Namco? Added a new throw that triggers a tornado state. Oh, okay. This expands the attack routes that can be developed from throws, making it easier to make decisions based on opponent situation and positioning. This expands the attack routes that can be developed from throws. Okay. Sidestep 2+4 by using up 2+4 or down 2+4 during Jaguar Sprint. Now possible to evade the opponent's attacks and transition directly into a throw. What about the Heat Smash, chat? Where's the Heat Smash? This is Heat Smash, still hit grounded. Is that what I'm to understand from these patch notes? These patch notes in which they buffed him, it seems. King. I have to know. Jun Kazama. I have to know.
Get ready for the next battle.
What's a knockdown with King? Jaguar Sprint 3, I think, knocks down. Okay, and then I need her to not try to get up. It still hits grounded jet. What is this transition to throw thing now? He automatically does the throw at least. That's still not okay. Why is it homing? Imagine if he doesn't have to do the throw. I was just about to say, imagine if he didn't have to do the throw. Okay. Back to our reading. Let us continue to read. Kuma and Panda are characterized by a mid-range playstyle that leverages their reach, while using chip damage attacks on blocks, holdable moves, and stance transitions to maintain control of the match. In Season 3, situations, including those involving Heat, where interactions could become overly one-sided, were adjusted, increasing the number of scenarios in which both players can engage in meaningful mind games on offense and defenses. This is the only time I've read a paragraph about characters where it sounds like they actually might have nerfed them. New move during Heat. A follow-up move that can be used only during Heat, triggered on hit from down back 4, was added. Kuma can take advantage of floor break stage gimmicks, while Panda can utilize wall break stage gimmicks. However, because the Heat timer consumption is great, careful consideration of stage positioning is required when using this option. Kuma exclusive moves during Heat, down forward 2+3 and crouch dash 2. The degree to which the offender's options were overly restricted on block was reviewed. By adjusting the distance and frame advantage on block, situations that allow for offensive and defensive mind games, including the use of lateral movement, have been made more likely to occur. Okay, so Kuma and Panda just got nerfed. Great. Lars is characterized by his ability to close the distance using DE and SE transitions, breaking down the opponent through rapid close range engagements. In Season 3, his offensive options were streamlined, and adjustments were made to make it easier to suppress the opponent's lateral movement at close range. By making it easier to choose the appropriate move for the situation, Lars can now more readily create offensive opportunities. Okay, strengths. Where are the weaknesses? Where are the weaknesses, Bamco? Where are the weaknesses? I'm not seeing any weaknesses. Where are the weaknesses? I was told there would be weaknesses. Oh, whoops. Okay. I was told there would be weaknesses, chat. And yet, customize slot character, customize slot player. What does that mean? Oh, you can actually change your little icon things, I guess. I guess that's cool.
Get ready for the next battle.
I'm just curious really quick about June. Oops, that's not what I wanted. What behavior about that was changed on counter hit? It seems to do the same thing on counter hit. Now she has this move, which is... Wait, is this not the patched version? It says 3.0, but I don't have... What's the new move they gave her? Hold on. Oh, 3-1. Wow. Okay. Okay. What else did they say about her? Standing 3. That move is going to be insane now. Honestly, they kind of gave her a lot of ridiculousness. -10 now? Oh my gosh. Tech charge doesn't counter hit no more? What does that mean? I don't know what that is. What is tech charge? What else did they say they changed about her? They said they changed something. I think it was just a consistency change for While Rising 2-1. Oh, down back 2. Got a damage buff. All the buttons glow stuff? What? I don't. What are you talking about? Wow, I can't do it. Can't do it because I suck. Oh my gosh. All right, back to the patch notes. Wait, what else did they change on her? The input window for that is slower now, so you won't be able to. Before you could like. You basically have to commit if you're gonna do Rising 2-1. I think by shortening that window, you have to commit. You could kind of delay it a little bit before. Oh, full crouch down, full crouch speed plus 4-3. What the heck is that? Oh, I see. Oh, is that what they meant? Didn't that hit grounded before? All right, and then down forward 2. Or full crouch down forward 2. That's right. That was just a cosmetic change. Okay, where'd we leave off? We left off at Panda and Kuma getting nothing, or getting nerfed. Leo, let's see what they say about Leo. Leo is a technical character. I already take issue. Leo is technical? I'm not sure that a +9 mid stance in back 4 is technical, but okay, sure. Let's run with it. Leo is a technical character who constructs offense and defense flexibly. There are a wide variety of stances and move options. In version 3, adjustments were made to reinforce areas where damage return had been lacking overall, while also making it easier for Leo's individuality to shine by creating improvements around the acquisition Lightning Glare. New move. A new feature was added in which during Fubu 1-2 on hit 1+2 grants Lightning Glare on hit. Since Lightning Glare can now be gained simultaneously with triggering Tornado, it's now easier to construct combo routes and tactical options incorporating it. Oh boy! With these adjustments, the character's overall performance was reviewed and balanced, broad and tactical. The performance was reviewed and balanced to broaden tactical possibilities. Damage nerf, damage buff, and that's it. No frame changes. Leroy. Leroy is characterized by close range combat built around his hermit stance and various reversal techniques. In version 3, his offensive options during hermit were streamlined, with adjustments made to help him apply pressure more effectively. Hold on. Sorry, the tech and background noise was bothering me. To help him apply pressure more effectively in close range situations. He got a new move. And then he's got frame nerf, damage buff, frame buff, and that's it. Lydia. Lydia is characterized by a playstyle that builds heaven and earth level while developing offense and defense through integration with cat stance and stance of wolf stance, stalking wolf stance. In Season 3, new options were introduced for managing heaven and earth level, while elements related to air combos and chip damage were streamlined, making situational decision-making even more important. It is now possible to perform both Heat Burst and Efflorescent Blizzard from Horse Stance. As a result, new offensive routes are now available in both grounded situations and air combos, and the move has been adjusted to function more flexibly as an option that can be selected according to situation, including during heat. About management of heaven and earth. For certain moves used while heaven and earth level is high, a new mechanic was added in which the moves are enhanced by consuming heaven and earth level. As a result, a gameplay layer was introduced in which players must decide whether to utilize or preserve their heaven and earth level, adding strategic depth to its management. She can choose to buff a move and lose heaven and earth level. Heat burst can now be done during stance. I don't necessarily hate that. I mean, I think if some characters can do it, it does make sense for other characters with stances to be able to do that. I think Maybe though, the heat burst from stance. How do I feel? Given everything else, it's insane. I'll say that. What the hell, lowering the stacks? But it said it enhances the properties, which means they probably do way more damage if she consumes the stacks. Damage nerf, damage nerf, damage nerf. Okay, Lydia actually got some hammers to her kneecaps. Change the damage to increase according to heaven and earth level. Increase recovery time. So -14 and -18. That's also huge. That's kind of crazy, actually. Reduce the input window, so they made this stricter to execute. Chip damage nerf, chip damage nerf. Lydia might have gotten the most nerfs in the patch so far. Remove the property that eliminates opponent's recoverable brigade. Remove property that eliminates opponent's recover. So she's also not able to eliminate recoverable health as much anymore either. They basically said, they took Lydia out back and they shot her. They buffed Jaganov though, but Lydia got shot. She has more combo routes. Yeah, but combo routes, was that her problem? Was the problem that she struggled with combo routes? I mean, I'm all for Lydia nerfs. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody needed this level of nerfing. Somehow they got to Lydia and they're like, yeah, fuck this bitch. And they knew how to nerf suddenly. Lydia is characterized by a playstyle that transitions into a back turn state from movement that makes strong use of lateral steps, allowing her to create unique mind game situations. In Season 3, her options for branching into back turn follow-ups from key moves were expanded, while adjustments were also made to improve the usability of certain techniques that previously saw limited opportunities for use. I'm so glad that Lily now has more ways to go into her back turn stance, and now has more options out of her back turn stance. Spoilers? What do you mean by spoilers? Are the patch notes spoiling something for me? Damage nerf, frame buff, and that's it. Wow. Miarizo is a character who excels at closing the distance using her small stature and diverse stances, then creating offensive opportunities through mix-ups using Boabab Mihara and Marenji Maroso. In version 3, without significantly altering her core character traits, adjustments were focused on bug fixes and stabilizing move behavior. Gave her a new move that switches positions on hit. By alternating its use with up forward 1, it is now easier to adjust neutral and switch strategies according to the situation. Change so that when during Marenji Maroso 1+2 lands as a rounded hit, a floor break will now occur. That's cool. She got a floor break. This move has longer active frames. What is that? Marenji 2. And then consistency. All right, so it's all consistency stuff. Where was Anna? We got to Nina and suddenly I'm like, was Anna not? Did I miss a page? Was Anna not mentioned? I must have missed it. Did I blank out, chat? Oh, I did, because I didn't see Elisa or Armor King either. Okay. Somehow we skipped this page. Elisa is a character who excels at offense using lazy and destructive form and has strong lateral movement. In Season 3, we focus on expanding her routes. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even want to read more. Armor King wasn't a problem, but let's see. Armor King is a character who excels at mixing strikes and throws. The neutral game focus on mid-range exchanges. We have expanded his options primarily with in-air combos while also adjusting the damage of existing moves and revisiting several frequently used techniques. Added a new move, Downplaque 3+4, to supplement close range options by taking advantage of its crouching status property. It allows for easier adaptation to the opponent's actions during close quarters engagements. Expansion of air combo variations. While maintaining the usability of the frequently used forward 3-2-1, adjustments have been made to make it easier to incorporate forward 1+2, down 3+4-1, and during Bad Jaguar 2-3. These changes make it easier to choose routes based on distance from the wall. Yay, more routes. Damage nerf. Damage nerf. Damage nerf. Damage buff. No. What? The damage for the second hit has been decreased from 12 to 13. Was this written by AI? How has the damage for the second hit been decreased from 12 to 13? 12 to 13 is bigger than 12, right? Okay, and then Anna. Anna's a character who excels at mix-ups using mid and low attacks from crouching, as well as offense that takes advantage of the reach granted by her weapons. In Season 3, we have added new moves to stabilize her post-air combo situation while also revising certain moves whose performance was overly strong, adjusting the balance between risk and reward. New moves! Wow, she got a whole lot. Look at that. She got 3 whole new moves. Added a new high attack that can be used during combos because she needed more combos, stuff to do. It's designed with a focus on wall carry performance. Oh, Hannah definitely struggled with wall carry, so I'm glad that she now has a new move that does wall carry. Making it easier to reliably reach the wall even in situations where distance management during combos was previously difficult. The move also integrates smoothly into existing air combo routes, allowing for flexible choices depending on the situation. Flexible choices. I like that. They started out without saying maintain offensive pressure or initiate offense or easier to. They just said allowing for flexible choices. We want you to be flexible. Left, right, fried love, quick fried love, creep fried love. What are these names? Did you read the common page universal changes? I did. We started off great. I liked the common page universal changes. I thought that we started off in a real good spot. And then, but it was bait actually. It was bait. Frame nerf, that's good. I'm assuming this is a frame nerf when they say increased recovery time on whiff, or do they mean that this is a frame buff so that it now recovers faster on whiff? Who knows? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. All right, cool. So Anna, it seems like she didn't really get touched that hard. She just got some new moves. And then this move, this full crouch down forward 1 is now -12 from -10. And that's basically it. Oh, they adjusted the tracking of this full crouch down forward too. Crouching state on forward 3-3 started at the first frame and now it's been 25 frames. Oh, that's okay. That's good. That makes forward 3 more risky. I guess it always should have been. I guess they're saying that was a bug. Crazy they let it be that way for all of season 2, but whatever. All right, Nina. Nina is characterized by strong potes and rapid fire attacks that allow her to dominate close range combat, as well as evasive capabilities and technical maneuvering, such as betrayer and sidestep cancel techniques. In Season 3, adjustments were focused primarily on elements related to recoverable health, with the aim of expanding her options in neutral. Nina, the notoriously option-limited character, needed more of them, because her options were limited before. What do you expect? We gotta expand them options, because she doesn't have enough. We gotta give her more options, baby. New move. A new fast-starting move that removes the opponent's... Oh, my God. Damage nerf. Frame buff on 4-4. Cool. Cool story, bro. Paul is characterized by powerful mid attacks and low attacks and strong forward advancing techniques, allowing him to break down opponents with simple yet overwhelming force. In version 3.0, adjustments are made to emphasize power over speed, allowing players of all skill levels to experience a satisfying sense of impact. Okay, so you got some frame nerfs. Forward 3-1 is now significantly more risky. Forward 2-1 is now safer. While rising 3-2 is also now safer. Guys, don't you all just want to experience a satisfying sense of impact? That's why we play Tekken. So that we, no matter what our skill level is, we can experience a satisfying sense of impact with more routes and options than ever. More expanded options for offense and routes than ever before, because we were also lacking in those. Raven is characterized by mix-ups that utilize mid and low attacks from crouching, as well as follow-up techniques from Soul Zone, allowing him to bewilder opponents while constructing his offense, but they weren't bewildered enough. In Season 3, her neutral options. Ooh, okay, Raven. Raven's doing a little mix. Raven's now non-binary. You've heard it here first, chat. The official canon of Raven. In version 3, Raven's neutral options were streamlined and adjustments were made to make it easier to develop offense incorporating Soul Zone. New Soul Zone 3+4, a new launcher usable during Soul Zone was added. A new launcher was added. Raven has a new launcher now. That's cool. During Shadow Sprint 1-2, it was revised so that it no longer forms a true block string, making it easier to transition in situations that incorporate Soul Down. Additionally, during Soul Zones 1, it was adjusted so that it now leads more reliably into offense when it scores a counter hit. And then we've got frame buffs. Frame change from -9 to -6 and +0 to -2. Okay, wait, hold on. On block from negative, frame buff on block, frame nerf on transition. Okay. But otherwise, more or less the same. Reina is characterized by a rapid pace, offense, and defense built around her numerous stance techniques, such as Sentai, Unsoku, and Heaven's Wrath. In Season 3, adjustments were made to expand her options after transitioning into Unsoku, making it easier to create new offensive routes, while also standardizing the frame data of Sentai and Heaven's Wrath to improve consistency and support clear situational decision-making. Okay. Got the homing high for Unsoku. We knew that. On counter hit, down forward 1-2 will connect as a guaranteed follow-up, allowing Reina to transition in the heat. Ooh. Guaranteed heat transition off of a homing high? We love that. The recovery time of certain Sentai transitions was reduced, and the frame advantage of Heaven's Wrath was adjusted. For Sentai, the long recovery that occurred when transitioning without performing a follow-up technique was improved. For Heaven's Wrath, the frame data was adjusted to make offensive and defensive decision-making easier after transitioning into the stance. The recovery time when transitioning into Sentai on hit was reduced by 18 frames. 18 frames is a big change, and I'm assuming this is a buff. So she now comes out of Sentai faster after 1-1-2. Opponent's recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 2 frames, and the advantage on block has been changed from -4 to -6. That's a frame nerf. Okay. Parry timing for Heaven's Wrath is now shorter. Tracking on forward 3+4 is now less. And then, wow, that's a down back 2 got a huge frame buff on a hit. -3 to +3. Sentai 2, opponent's recovery time when blocking has been reduced by 2 frames, and the advantage, okay, so frame nerfs, parry window is bigger. Recovery time when transitioning into Sentai off of Heaven's Wrath 2 forward was reduced by 16 frames. Yikes. They said, hey, you guys really love Sentai, so we're going to make sure to give you even faster transitions out of Sentai. For the culture. Shaheen is characterized by solid neutral control, making situational judgment and stable return seeking his core strengths. In Season 3, adjustments were focused on broadening his options for air combos while improving several elements that had previously been considered weaknesses. Cool. I'm glad that they improved on his weaknesses, while also broadening his options for air combos in the strengths and weaknesses patch where we go back to basics. Everybody's getting a little something, chat. Let's see. Where's the next one? Steve. Steve is a character who fights by switching between multiple stances such as ducking left, right, and Lionheart. In Season 3, adjustments were made across his overall neutral game with the goal of making it easier to develop offense and defense that incorporates these stances. It's very important that Steve be able to incorporate his stances better in his offense and defense. So, ducking left 1+2 and ducking right 1+2. This is a new move usable from ducking, and follow-up attacks are possible on counter hit. Near the wall, it triggers a wall splat, making it easier to create close-range offensive situations and integrated stance transitions into Steve's neutral game. I don't see any frame changes. Increase both characters' recovery time on block by 3 frames for down back 1+2. Okay. Victor. Victor is a character who excels at overwhelming opponents through the use of stances such as EI stance and Perfumer. In Season 3, adjustments were made primarily to expand his offensive options. I'm going to expand my offensive options, chat. We're about to get real offensive up in here. Xiaoyu is a character who excels at deflecting the opponent's attacks by switching between multiple stances and at breaking defenses through mix-ups from a back turn state and Hypnotist. In Season 3, adjustments were focused on improving usability, with the addition of new moves and revisions to frame data carried out alongside these improvements. New move! In back turn, she can do up forward 2 to be performed from back turn position. This makes it easier to create situations where Xiaoyu can act before the opponent while back turned, thereby expanding her range of options. The frame data of full crouch down forward 2-1 on hit was adjusted, making it easier to develop offense from a crouching state. Additionally, the frame data of back 4 on block was revised, making it easier to incorporate into neutral, along with the heat gauges. This game was so hard with all the character strengths and weaknesses, chat. And so we've made easier and expanded options across the board. Except for Lydia, who, for whatever reason, Lydia got the fuck you stick. They said, fuck that bitch. And they blew her kneecaps off. You know, let's have a moment for you, Mr. Smug. We'll interrupt this this beautiful and delicious L's theme so that we can have a moment for Lydia, chat. Let's all have a moment for Lydia together. The real loser of this patch, Lydia Sobieska. R.I.P. The only character where Bandai Namco said, you know what, there should be some weaknesses in this character. How dare she? How dare this character that wasn't even that good compared to the rest of the bullshit in the game? How dare she be so good? Let's especially nerf the fuck out of her. But let's give King a new way to transition out of Jaguar Sprint. A new way to evade after Jaguar Sprint where he can throw automatically, but he doesn't have to commit. It's King. We can't force King to commit. He doesn't have to do the throw if he doesn't want to. But fuck Lydia. What a shame, chat. What a shame. So what's the Cold Soul? What's the verdict on these Xiaoyu changes? Are these buffs? Did they make it easier to incorporate this move in her neutral? And is it now easier? Do you feel like it's going to be easier to develop offense from a crouching state? Yoshimitsu is a character who excels at keeping the opponent guessing through a use of numerous stances. In Season 3, adjustments were focused primarily on fixing bugs, along with revisions to the behavior and performance of several moves. New move, now possible to transition from the existing up forward 2 into Kincho. Wow. Wait, we didn't mean to stay on... Hold on, I fucked up. I didn't mean to stay on fucking military band music. My bad, chat. Wow. Adjustments were made since when using moves such as down 2-2-2 or 3-2-1+2 in wall combos, the opponent in Yoshimitsu would sometimes switch places, or the attack might whiff. That's cool. That's real cool. All buffs. That sounds like her offensive options were expanded. It is now easier to aim for... They do change up the words. It's not always expanding offensive options. Sometimes they make it easier to aim for alternative developments. Alternative developments. I like that better than offensive options. They should have said that throughout the patch notes. That would have made it sting less, maybe. If instead we would all left wondering what they mean by alternative developments. Like, imagine they just say, this makes it easier to create on hit it was adjusted, making it easier to develop alternative developments from a crouching state. We love alternative developments. We don't like offensive options, but alternative developments we fuck with. Unless you're Lydia. Fuck Lydia. We wanted to delete that bitch from the game, but we can't do that because some people bought her. So we're just going to nerf the shit out of her instead so nobody plays her. Somebody woke up one morning and just was like, Lydia? Fuck no. Crazy. Crazy. I don't really care about anything else, but this consistency change on down 2-2-2 is kind of cool. I was playing Yoshi a little bit against Bumbleton, and the down 2-2-2 inconsistencies were noticeable. Being able to transition into Kensho off of up forward 2 is insanity. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one beat. Zafina. Zafina is a character who bewilders opponents through distinctive attacks using Azazel's power, and by combining multiple stances. In Season 3, adjustments were focused primarily on bug fixes, along with the addition of new moves and an expansion of her grounded combo options. A new move that allows her to transition into Mantis stance. Along with the addition of this move, the opponent's behavior on hit was revised so that follow-up attacks can connect more easily. You know, she didn't get her offensive options expanded. El Zafina. Nina gained Magic 4 back. Yeah? That's cool. That's really cool. I'm glad that in the offense patch, or excuse me, the back to basics patch. We got so much expanded offense. I was really hoping for that outcome when I was hoping for what I wanted in season 3. But you know, it's what can you say? What can you really say? Other than what a great patch, what a great set of changes. I'm glad that all the offense was expanded. You know, I wish I would have seen some more of the weaknesses they talked about. Those didn't seem present in the patch notes. But regardless of anything else that happened in the patch notes chat, you know what's really frustrating? King's Heat Smash still hits grounded. So, yeah, we'll come back to Tekken 8 when King's Heat Smash doesn't hit grounded anymore. But for as long as it continues to, we'll just instead be excited for things like Virtua Fighter 6 on the horizon. Maybe we'll even play some more Virtua Fighter 5. I know they've been making some improvements to that game over time. You know, DOA coming back with DOA 7. I'm not going to play DOA 6, so don't ask me to because I'm not interested. But I will check out, maybe I will check out DOA 7 if it looks good. Well, that was cool. This is a fun little read of the patch notes. What a helpful... I'm glad, you know, I was kind of worried that Tekken would cook too hard and then I would have to figure out how I'm going to fit Tekken into my busy schedule. But fortunately for me, they decided to expand offensive options and make it easier to initiate offense. And just make a lot of things easier, you know? Made it easier might be the most common phrase in those patch notes. So, but in any case, that's going to be it for me, chat. We're going to do a little raid. I'm going to send you guys to somebody that probably likes Tekken more than I like it. Actually, I'll just send you guys to Kaplurf. Kaplurf's the homie. I will see you guys. So other than Tekken and PoE, which is on, you know, PoE 2 0.5 comes out in the end of April, or, you know, end of April, early May, probably. So in the meantime, between now and then, we'll do some more music streams. You guys, some of you may have seen the music setup we did when was that? Friday? Was that Friday or Saturday? Whatever day that was that we did that. So there will be more streams like that. I figured out my audio. I was able to figure out a solution for that. So I was having some audio issues in the beginning of that, so that was troubling. And then what else? Also, I figured out what was wrong with Streamlabs, so I'll be able to dual stream. So the VODs will be. That means we'll have VODs, thankfully, because we don't have VODs on Twitch because of the DJ program. Because fuck DJs on Twitch, I guess is what Twitch thinks. But yeah, we will be back at some point in the near future with some more music. We can rest our eyes easy and in peace, knowing that we will not be wasting any more time on Tekken 8. I was worried a little bit because, you know, I'm a busy man. I got shit to do. And sometimes a really good game comes along and it's like, now I have a problem because I should be doing the shit I got to do, but then Tekken's in the way. And I said already, chat, I remember, you know, it's been a while. It's been a long time. My last Tekken stream was in September. But I believe around the time I stopped playing Tekken 8, I said, my 13th reason with Tekken is that King's Heat Smash hits grounded. And it still hits grounded. So, I actually don't really care about anything else they did. All I care about, I have this blinding fury about the fact that his Heat Smash hits grounded. So I'm going to be irrational about it, like how they're irrational in writing their patch notes and apparently not proofreading them. And I'm just not going to play it. We have Avatar. Avatar doesn't have a release date, so we don't have Avatar. Avatar comes out sometime this summer. But you know, we do have Combo Devils, chat. Combo Devils is coming up. Their beta should be maybe next week. Maybe next week or the week after. Their beta will be soon. The Combo Devils beta, and I have a beta key because I backed the project on Kickstarter. Which, by the way, if you have extra money laying around and you wanna do a good thing for the people, you wanna make a. How come I can't get this link? What the fuck? Hold on 1 second. I should make it a command since we're gonna be playing hopefully a lot of Combo Devils if it's good. Why did that link not work? That's weird. Yeah, check out Combo Devils. We'll be doing a little bit of that, a little streaming of that. We'll be observing, just hoping for a beta. I might be able to hook you up with one. I think my tier that I bought has extra beta keys. I don't know how many. I don't remember how many though. It might be like 3, maybe. I'd have to double check though. I don't know off the top. Don't quote me on it. But I might be able to hook you up with the Combo Devils beta key, and I will have to because I think from outside from the beta weekends, their servers, like their matchmaking, is not going to be live. So the only way you'll be able to play, I think, is in lobbies until they like fully roll out. So I will need friends who have the game. which is why I got the tier with extra keys. But yeah, this is actually a blessing in disguise. I know it's sad for folks that might want Tekken to be really good and great again so they can spend hours and hours and hours on it. But I think, frankly, this is a great opportunity for us to all go invest our time in some shit that is good for us and that cares about us and loves us and values our opinions and doesn't think we're children who can't read. So, you know, that means maybe another game. Maybe that means Overwatch. I know Aqua Snapple was having a lot of fun with Overwatch. You know, maybe I'll even play Overwatch one of these days. I downloaded it. I was like, you know what? He's been Aqua Snapple's talking it up. Maybe I'll look at it. I might play a game or two. I'm probably still not going to like it more than I like Marvel Rivals though. So, but you know, it's there in case I get the itch to try. And then, you know, yeah, we got PoE 2 at the end of April. So yeah, between now and the end of April, basically, we're just going to make a bunch of music, hopefully. That's my goal. I'm feeling really motivated to make more music. And now that I have the other streaming setup right for that type of stream, I want to do that a lot more. I was up, I couldn't sleep last night, so I was up at like 4 a.m. working on audio for that. So I can get those streams to be crispy. And that's when I was able to fix the multi-stream issue, so I'll be able to stream to Twitch and YouTube when I do that. Which is good because it means it'll be a VOD, because I don't have VODs here. And when I'm on my phone, I stream that from my phone, and when I do that, I don't have recordings either. And I like having recordings, so I can go back and see what I did, because I'd be forgetting what I did sometimes. But anyway, that's it. GG's Tekken. RIP. It's been nice knowing that game. I hope someday that, you know, it becomes good again. I hope someday they get their shit together and they realize that King's Heat Smash should not hit grounded. But yeah, we'll do a little raid, stick along for the raid, go say what's up to Kaplurf. Good night. Oh, I'm not going to bed. I'm just getting off stream. So I'm probably going to do some work actually, because I am behind on some things. So either that or I'll just chill in my underwear or something. I don't know. One of them. Or boot. Why not both? Maybe I'll chill in my underwear and get some stuff done. Maybe I'll make some music. Maybe I'll go live again. And we'll do one of those music streams I was talking about. Because I haven't done one live. I only did like the tests. So maybe I'll do like an actual live one. A cheeky little quick live. Maybe, you know, actually, maybe we will do that. It's 7:50. Maybe I'll take a 10-minute break, get some water, use the restroom, get some fresh air, and then maybe we'll be back in 10 minutes. It might maybe take me slightly longer to set everything up, actually. But it won't take me that long. Maybe we'll do a little musicking. We'll pick up where we left off in the music journey. So, I will see y'all in, I guess, a little bit, because that does sound like a good idea. I'm feeling inspired to embrace my creative instincts since Bandai Namco have none left. So, I'll see y'all in a little bit. Peace! Oh, wait, we're raiding. I forgot. It's been so long, I forgot that I set up a raid.